Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of puppets. Today, looking at a beer that I actually never reviewed. We're looking at Guinness Draught. I actually thought I reviewed this beer like way back in the day, and because I, a week or so ago, reviewed the Guinness Nitro IPA, I was like, looking at my channel and the history of the channel in terms of Guinness, what I reviewed, and I never reviewed Guinness Draught. I reviewed like the special export or foreign export, I think I reviewed those. And I reviewed, that's all I reviewed, I think. And then I did the Guinness Cortland challenge with the Lord of Malts, where we chugged Guinness. That was like a challenge. You had to chug like 4 cans of Guinness in the time that it takes to pour the perfect pint of Guinness. It's one of those beers that I loved back in the day that I just haven't had since. Well, I've had it once in a while if I've been out to a party or at a bar and that's all that's on draft. Okay, I'll have a Guinness. But I never really sat down and thought about what I got in flavor profile and everything. So I thought it'd be fun to give it a review when I saw it in the supermarket today on sale. I was like, I haven't had a Guinness in years. Let's check it out. So, yeah, guys, finally reviewing it after 10 years, almost 9 years, turning 9 years this year, the blog, reviewing Guinness Draught. This is a 4.2% Irish dry stout brewed since 1956. The St. James Gate Brewery has been in operation since 1759. It's originally was brewing porters, and it's, stout is one of these also interesting styles of beer that has a long history. Kind of grew from porters. So like the first time they used the term stout was about stronger porters, actually. So like stout porter. But there was also like stout pale ale and stout whatever. So it usually meant stronger in the past. But that's changed over the years. It's grew into its own style, especially because of the invention of kilns for roasting your barley, producing just a whole variety of different flavors in your beer. Just think of that, like in the past, all of a sudden you could roast barley without producing the same types of flavors with, like, if you smoke it or whatever, you could produce these unique flavors of chocolate and coffee that's never been apparent before, which is just, back then must have been like mind-boggling, right? So that's one of the key things with Guinness, and they always talk about how they use roasted barley. It's one of the marketing terms. They even put it in the IPA. But they are doing strong. They are owned by Diageo, huge company, but it will be fun to revisit. I think, it said here is distributed by Carlsberg in Denmark, so they do the import of this beer. 4.2%. I remember in the States they had it in bottles, like a nitro bottle. I don't know if they still do that, but we got the Guinness poured in I used to have a Guinness glass and a Kilkenny glass, but I smashed them over the years. So we're using a Wells Bombardier pint glass, but I thought we should use a pint glass for this, but I mean, that looks nice in the glass. I don't care if you think Guinness is shitty beer or whatever, but that actually looks quite nice, and that head is just sitting there like a cream on top. It's black-ish. I mean, it's dark. It is black, right? But it has some dark reddish tones on the bottom of the glass. A nice thick beige head because of that nitrogen widget in the can. It'll be fun to try this. The dry stouts is like, again, an evolution of the whole style from going from porter and whatnot to produce a more dry, a little more roasty stout with a lot less bitterness. And yeah, it's also not a style of stout I've always really appreciated. I thought there was some great iterations of it, but it's never been my favorite. I've always, like, for stouts, loved Imperial Stout. But dry is like the dry stout, Irish dry stout is complete opposite, just much lighter. But let's check out the aroma on Guinness for the first time in ages. It smells so freaking nostalgic. It's so fun to revisit these old beers, guys. I need to do it more. I need to go back and find some of the beers I reviewed and blew my mind back in the day and try and revisit them for reviews. Like do Master of Puppets nostalgia reviews or something. But it is just so nostalgic to smell that roasted barley aroma. It's like this. I think they also use flaked barley. I'm not entirely sure on that, but it has a sweetness to it that's reminding me of some kind of flaked ingredients. And it has a slight acidity on the aroma, which probably comes from the roasted barley. A bit of roast toffee. Nothing amazing smelling, guys, but you know what? It doesn't smell bad, but it smells decent. It smells nostalgic. Let's try Guinness for the first time in years. Cheers. That is so nostalgic. It's so funny to me. A lot of people I know and when they try Guinness, it's so filling and I can't drink a lot of that and all that. Guinness is like the lightest, most sessionable stout in the world. You can easily drink pints after pints of this. I don't know what people are talking about when they think this is filling. First of all, I think it's because it has the creamy head. They're thinking it's filling. It has a more robust flavor, so in that sense, it can be a bit filling, I guess. But because of its nitrogen in here, it has that almost like flat cask ale type of effervescence to it. It's not like this spritzy carbonation that you get from other styles and other beers. It's like this almost like flat but super velvety sensation. Like it's velvety and coating and slick. One thing I really remember about this as well is like that acidity, that like slight bite, almost like a sour roasty flavor, if you can say it like that, or not, maybe not sour, but tart roasty flavor. Tart roasty malty flavor. But this is not a bad beer at all. I'd say it's a boring beer to a lot of people, but as an everyday beer, come on, this is not bad. It might be mass produced by a big company, but this is like a gateway beer for a lot of people. Certainly was for me. That was one of the beers I loved back in the day, along with numerous other beers from the UK. The UK was what got me into craft beer, so I can thank them for that, and Ireland as well. But yeah, I mean, the roast profile, it has a very long, persistent dryness on the aftertaste right now. Just like this lingering, dry, chalky, toasty, bitter, burnt malt flavor. It tastes exactly like if you chew on like roasted barley. If you ever tried chewing on roasted barley, that's the flavor. It's not like this complex chocolate coffee thing in here. To me, it tastes like exactly like roasted barley that has like this kind of coffee-esque dark chocolate flavor, but it's nothing compared to some other types of dark beer. Maybe just the slightest hint of dark fruit and then that acidity. And it has a little bit of sweetness to it. A little bit of a thing that reminds me of flaked barley or just some kind of flaked grain. It's not something that's going to blow your mind and rock your world like this is the best beer ever, but it's a sessionable, drinkable, mass-produced Irish dry stouts. There are better examples of the style. Beamish in the past I used to like a lot more when they did that. I think it's Heineken that's doing that now. And there's also Murphy's Irish dry stout. I can't, on the top of my head, I can't really remember any craft breweries doing some great ones. I think Moylan's has a good one, and there's another craft brewery that does one as well. But decent stuff, not shit, but just maybe to some people boring. But in terms of nostalgia, I'm actually enjoying this. Again, I say a must check out beer. I mean, just for its history alone, not a beer again that's gonna rock your world, but I think it's worth a shot. I actually think it's rather drinkable, and I think I'll definitely finish this pint of Guinness because I'm actually enjoying this. It's just a nice, relaxing, no fuzz, just drink it and relax kind of beer. Not all this fuzzy craziness that we sometimes do with craft beer, but sometimes it's nice to just kick back and have a beer without thinking about tasting all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, rating-wise for Guinness Draught, I'm going to go 80 just like the IPA. They did decent beer, but nothing mind-blowing. So if you guys had a chance to try Guinness Draught, definitely check it out. It took me 9 years to review this bad boy. If you want to see more of these nostalgic reviews, me checking out beers I used to drink back in the day when I was getting into craft beer, let me know. If you have any specific requests, let me know. I'll try and see if I can find it. It's fun to revisit these old beers because it's just nostalgic. But there's definitely other stuff out there that's more fun to drink. But if you had it, guys, I'm sure you did. Let me know what you thought of it. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And I want to say cheers. See you guys in another beer review.